وعلى إترته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Alhamdulillah, the coming of the month of Ramadan, we are indeed blessed, much more than we realize, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen us and invited us to be His guests in this month. And inshallah, we from our side will have the tawfiq to take advantage of this and to gather whatever we can gather in this month, and to be mindful of the good moments of this month, so that we are alert and aware and take that blessing that is available, inshallah ta'ala. I just want to start with 2 or 3 masail that are commonly asked as a reminder in the month of Ramadan. The first is the issue that is to do with salat as well, but it's the issue of traveling. A lot of our people, youngsters and others, they live in London, but they work outside London. And they travel back and forth either every day or some days in the week. Others, their job is traveling. For example, they are drivers. Others are traveling for leisure or other reasons. And there's a question as to how will they do the salat, what constitutes their duty in such cases. Well, we know when that the easy thing is that wherever we travel, if we travel less than 10 days, hope we're a traveler, we will truncate the salat, we will pray the qasr, and we cannot fast. If we live in a place, if we go to a place which is like not our home, we have to stay there 10 days, at least, if we want to fast. So people who are going in the month of Ramadan and they're traveling somewhere, they have to make sure that 10 days. And what is 10 days? 10 days is from the moment you set your foot in that city, 240 hours later you should be at least there. So that's 10 days. Because some people say, does it start at the night time? Does it start at the daytime? No. If you're going to be there 240 hours in that city, you can fast and you pray full. That is well known. What is sometimes a little bit problematic is, well, I'm traveling a lot, but each time they're not 10 days. So the masail comes of kathiru safar. Kathiru safar means the one who is frequent traveler. And in the ruling of Sayyid Sistani, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate, give him a long life, inshallah ta'ala. He says, well, on an average, if you are traveling 10 days in a month, so coming to, in a period of time, you will be traveling in that year 120 days. Doesn't have to be 10 exact every month, but when you count it, some months maybe you traveled a week, other months 3 weeks, masalan Hajj, another time you went, and so on and so on. You see that the days are going to be at least on average 10 days a month, then you become kathiru safar. And consequently, wherever you go, you will pray full salat and you will fast. Now this can be for 3 reasons, kathiru safar. It can be part of your temporary job. You've taken a contract on somewhere, it's not in London, maybe Milton Keynes, you're going there 3 times a week. 3 times a week is 10 days a month on average, right? So you're going to do that for 6 months, masalan, that's your contract. You will then say, once it has been established that you have taken this contract, okay, you will say then that in this 6-month period I'm a frequent traveler, so I will pray in Milton Keynes where I go, it's not my home, and also at home when I travel for another reason. I travel, for example, for a week or a weekend to, say, Europe somewhere with my wife as a holiday. Even there I will pray full, because I am now kathiru safar at this point in time. Okay? So it can be for that reason. It can be for the reason that driving has become your job. You are always in and out of London, right? You're driving people. Hope. So again, you, as well as if you travel for something that is not your job. So sometimes people say, well, I'm traveling, a driver is traveling for ziyarat, for Hajj. So he should not know. Kathiru Safar, the masail is, even if a driver is traveling for something that is not his normal job, for a personal holiday, once he is under the banner of Kathiru Safar, he will fast and travel full. Fast or definitely full. Means don't cut your fast after 8 hours. Then the third reason is leisure. Agha says that a person might be, he's not a traveler by job, he's not also taken any contract, but he travels a lot. And when he travels a lot, he finds that his days become 10 days on average. So it doesn't matter the reason why. It is just that if you are traveling on average 120 days a year, you will come under this banner of Kathiru Safar. If you're not traveling that many at all, then the usual rule applies to you. You go to a place, the rule of 10 days applies to you. My only caution to you is try to, Agha has a masail, he says, as for those who are maybe 8 or 9 days on average, try not to be 8 or 9 days on average, because Agha says, for such I recommend that they pray qasr and full, both. So take an extra week off and make it over the limit, it's better. But yeah, Agha says that if it is neither Kathiru Safar, not quite on this side, roughly hitting 8 to 9 days on average, then he prays full and okay. The other question that is asked also, and even this year has been asked, and people ask because they are worried, is about gargling and this, nothing can go down the throat. Again, the masail is this, that if you take something into your mouth, that itself is not a problem. It is swallowing it that is a problem. Now, there may be various reasons why you take something into your mouth. A woman might do it, or even a man these days, to taste the food that they're cooking. There's no problem with taste. Even if the tongue registers taste, as long as you have spit it out afterwards, there is no problem. A person might, for the sake of wudu, gargle, or even for the sake of brushing the teeth, or wants to use a mouthwash to freshen his breath, because he doesn't want, for example, to have that, to distress somebody who's around him, a colleague or something, whatever reason. Once you decide on this, then it is not a step taken lightly, because it has with it a rule. You have to be careful that you do not swallow anything. So you have gargled now your mouth is wet. What do you do? Well, as a precaution, first of all, you spit out. And Agha says that then if one just spits out what is left in the mouth for 3 times, then stop worrying about whatever is left, it's finished. So you can spit it out 3 times, and that is fine. Inhaler was asked. Inhaler is another issue. There's no problem, of course, with inhalers, because even if there are particles in this device that you inhale, they are going down the respiratory tract, into the windpipe, into the lungs, not into the food pipe and into the stomach. It is what we are not allowed to take something into the stomach. So such things are allowed. Injections are allowed. Drops that you take, eye drops, ear drops. Again, on the issue of eye drops, it may well be that the eye drops do end up in your throat and if you can taste it, or if you feel that it will go down your nasolacrimal ducts into your throat, then you do not do that, or you press on here if you really, really need to use an eye drop for treatment of some sort. And if there are any other masails, inshallah wa ta'ala, in tomorrow's session I can tackle them. Please recite a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. On the first night I talked about that beautiful sermon that should be revisited all the time, the one that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave in the last days of Sha'ban, in one of the years, and quoted by Mawla. He makes some very, very interesting points that we need to keep in mind through this month. Number one, that this is a month in which we are the guests of Allah. And I said that this is not a small statement. It's a very big statement. To be the guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you are in riyafatillah, this is something very great. And it is up to the guest then to have the imagination and the iman to ask from the host. Because a host is obliged to do the best he can for the guest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no limits to what He can offer. We may place limits on how much time and effort we put into the month. That is our problem, not the problem of the host. Okay? Within that, because the host is very generous, right, there are things that happen in this month that don't happen in other months. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is hinting at that. He says that about this month, huwa indallahi afdalus shuhur. This is in the eyes of Allah the best of months. Wa ayyamuhu afdalul ayyam. Its days are the best of days. Wa layalihi afdalul layali. Its nights are the best of nights. وَسَاعَتُهُ أَفْضَلُ السَّاعَاتِ وَهُوَ شَهْرُ دُعِيتُمْ فِيهِ إِلَى ضِيَافَةِ اللَّهِ. Okay. Then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now that He has invited you, He now says, Rasulullah says, as a result of this invitation, جُعِلْتُمْ فِيهِ مِنْ أَهْلِ كَرَامَةِ اللَّهِ. Okay. You have now a special respect and honor that you didn't have before this. You've been granted an honor because you are the guest of God. Makes you very special indeed. That's number one. As a result, أَنفَاسُكُمْ فِيهِ تَسْبِيحٌ. As you breathe, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reckons it to be tasbih. وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ عِبَادَةٌ. As you sleep, Allah counts it as worship. What does this mean? It means that even if you count the minimum that you are going to do in this month, it is still ibadah and tasbih. Because the minimum we would do is when we breathe and we sleep. What about if we do more than this? What else it could be? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, now you have become my guest as a gift, as an opening gift. Just be alive in this month and I will give you rewards. If you do more, that's up to you. وَعَمَلُكُمْ فِيهِ مَقْبُولٌ. Acts which at other times Allah has got certain conditions for acceptance. In this month, He accepts again because you are His guest. وَدُعَاؤُكُمْ فِيهِ مُسْتَجَابٌ. Du'as that require certain prerequisites, but now again they are accepted quicker. And then Rasulullah says, فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ بِنِيَّاتٍ صَادِقَةٍ. We will talk about that part tomorrow, inshallah wa ta'ala. The point is, we have to realize the huge honor we have been given. It is, as I said to you, not something everybody was given. People were with us sitting in this sufra last year, they are not here. Right? We have been reciting Surah Fatiha throughout the year for people who will no longer see the month of Ramadhan. And in this way will not be the wife of Allah ever that we are now. Right? So we need to be mindful of that. What is this a month of? First and foremost, it is a month of some sort of growth. Okay? Now a lot of people talk about growth and change. For a lot of people, you say, well, month of Ramadan is about survival, Abbas. If we can just get through the other month with our sanity intact, without complaining about God, without... No. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites us to grow how? By moving us away from comfort. And that is the only time growth happens, as you know. You only grow when you are out of your comfort zone. Within your comfort zone, you do not grow. Right? So that is why, even in a gym, you are told, do a little bit more than you are comfortable with. Do not suffice yourself with the weight that you can lift, because you will not grow. It is when you go that extra mile, you will grow. Right? In the same way, when you are put in outside your comfort zone, you realize who you are. What is your worth? Sometimes when you are in the place where you're very used to, you don't even understand what's going on. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, stop eating. Stop drinking. Stop giving in to those normal desires. Move away. So the first point I want to leave with you is, if growth is going to happen outside our comfort zone, then we should take advantage of when we are outside the comfort zone. Means what? Means we shouldn't plan our life in such a way that everything moves to nighttime. Because at nighttime everything is back to normal. So you say, these problems and these emails and these big decisions, I'll make at night. Because I will have tea and coffee with me and a cigarette maybe, and I can think. In the daytime, I don't want to do this. Or these ibadat I will do at night. Or these particular activities I will do at night. Daytime is for just getting it over with. So let me sleep. It seems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting for something different. He's inviting for something to be done in the daytime, which is when you're out of your comfort zone. Because at night, you're back in the comfort zone. Sometimes even more comfortable than normal, actually. Sometimes, you eat even better than you eat in other months. And you have fun even more than you have in other months with friends till Fajr time. Yeah, it's a time to meet and sit with friends, and you say to yourself, mashallah, in 11 months I haven't had time to sit with these guys. We're having baraza every night, sports the rest of the nights. It's a fantastic time. Why? Because we are planning to go back into what we know and where we are comfortable. No. So one of the ideas that we need to think about is, in the daytime something has to be done. Some introspection. Don't leave everything for nighttime, when it's like any other night, actually, to be honest. Although it has its own barakah. Number one. Number two, it is a month for 5 basic things. And over the nights, you will hear about them from different people, and you have obviously thought about them yourself. It is for a time for growth. We talked about it. It is a time for charity. This is the best time for charity. I want to make 2 comments about charity. One is that we, obviously all of you now with the advent of email and WhatsApp, have got several people asking you for donations for iftar and so on. And different places people give money. The point is, what is the point of charity? And what is the attitude towards charity? First and foremost, Quran. Quran says to Rasulullah, Ya Rasul, take from their wealth charity so that it is purified. We have gathered money during the year from, hopefully, inshallah, halal sources. Occasionally there will be things that are mashkuk, that are doubtful. Rasulullah is told, khudh min amwalihim sadaqah. Take from their money sadaqah so that through that you purify. Second, we look at sadaqat as obliging other people. And this is the biggest mistake we make. When we do something what we see as a favor, we feel that the other person should be satisfied. We are doing them a favor. And the biggest mistake is, if you look carefully at Hadith and Quran, it is we who are being done the favor by being given opportunity. In Surah Hujjat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the end, He says to them, they come, yamunnuna alayk, they come and say, we have done you a favor by becoming Muslim. You would have no followers. We are now Muslim, right? Some of them would come and say, we do the tawaf. Nobody would do tawaf before if we don't become Muslim. And they would come and say to Rasulullah, expecting him to shake their hands and hug them and thank them very much, which maybe Rasulullah did. But Allah says they want to say that they have done manna on you, yamunnuna alayk bi islamihim. Tell them Allah has done favor to them by guiding them to Islam. You have not done me any favors. Allah has done you a favor by guiding your heart to Islam. Now, when you give charity, it is not that you feel that I am giving. You should say, Ya Allah, I have been given opportunity and wealth and means that I can actually do something for my own akhirah. It is a gift from God. If someone comes as a guest, even with the best intention, best pazirai, we look after our guests, there is a part of us we feel we are doing him a favor. We are doing him a favor. Why? Because we are giving him a place to stay. He is a stranger, he doesn't have anywhere to go, so he's our guest and we are looking after him. Even if we are looking after him well, right, we still feel that he should be realized that it was something we did for him. The truth is, you should realize that Allah did something for you by sending you guests. If you knew that what a great favor that was to your life, how many balas were averted, how much rizq came to you because somebody came through your door, it would change. Right? It is like one say in hadith we have that Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam was actually had a gloomy face. He looked upset, and one of his friends said to him, Ya Ali, why are you upset? He said, I don't know why, but it has been 7 days I have not been blessed with a guest. 7 days have passed and I haven't had a single person join me even for a meal. So Mawla is missing that. That 1 week I haven't had one person as a guest in my house. You see, if we saw, as our Imams have taught us to see, that many times you are doing things, don't think that, they should be grateful. A person comes and serves in many ways. Doesn't have to be from whatever service you do, whether you give water to someone to break his fast, whether you come and teach some Quran in the madrasa, whether you do something for somebody else, don't feel that they should be satisfied, I'm obliging them. Rather thank Allah that He gave you opportunity. That, Ya Allah, you gave me a chance to serve. I became your agent. I became the one through whom you acted out or you did your will. So it is great. When we think of it this way, charity then has got a different slant. And the person gives with all his heart whatever he is able to. So this is the month of charity. Please recite a salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. Somehow we are too early, isn't it? I don't know how that happened, but time is going a bit slow. So I recite my majlis of tomorrow, and then tomorrow you find someone else. The other thing that this is a month for, is the month of Quran, isn't it? Everything has a season, and the season of reciting the Quran is the month of Ramadan. This is a hadith of Rasul. And the Quran is vital that every Muslim makes it a very integral part of his life, the life of his household, the life of his family. This is very important, right? And some people don't recite the Quran. They recite meaning. Meaning is not the Quran. Reciting the Quran is very important, right? Some people say, I don't know how to recite the Quran, right? I say to you, if you don't know how to recite a Quran, if you don't know how to recite Quran, the fact that you didn't learn to recite the Quran is not an aib. There are many reasons why people didn't learn. Situation, the way they were raised, opportunity was not there. So you didn't learn the way other children learned. That is not an aib. But it is an aib if you do nothing else about it now. And you say, I didn't learn, So you didn't learn. Somebody else was in charge of your life at that time. Now you are in charge of your life. You didn't learn means you're going to go to your grave not learning. That's not right. You must learn the Quran. Why? Hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ينبغي للمؤمن أن لا يموت حتى يتعلم القرآن أو يكون في تعلمه. It is not right for a mu'min to die until he knows the Quran or he dies while he's still learning the Quran. Recitation. So there are plenty of people who may not know how to recite the Quran. And there is absolutely no, as I say, shame in that or embarrassment in that. Wallah, I tell you, if somebody was, 60 and he came and said to me, Abbas, I don't know how to recite, do you have time? I wouldn't think, my goodness, look at him. I would think, if I don't have time, I find time. I try something for you, right? And in this day and age, there are many opportunities or avenues online that one can learn to recite the Quran. Yes, it takes some time, maybe 3 months, 6 months to learn like anything else. But do not content yourself by saying, I didn't learn, I wasn't taught, so I don't know. No, you must know how to. That's the first thing. Second thing is, because reciting in the Arabic is not the same. You see, if you recite in another language, you're already adding a layer between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words and your understanding. It's true. And there are certain words and ideas that cannot be, contained in English or any other language. Until the Arabic you learn and you get some idea, number one. Number two, you need to recite the language as it was, in the language which was revealed. And when you recite, our Imams alayhimus salam taught us how to recite. No, by that I don't mean just the tajweed rules, but the attitude. So for example, you would find that Imam alayhi salam, Imam Rada alayhi salam, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, particularly had a very interactive recitation style. When the verse would say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, it was his habit of saying, Labbaik, Ya Allah. Because I am alladhina amanu. You are about to address, O people who believe, he would say, Labbaik, Ya Allah. I am one of those. When he would recite a surah that was talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like Surah Tawheed, and he finished it, he would say, Kadharik Allahu Rabbi. This is exactly how my Lord is. Right? And that is why in Salat it is mustahab, based on the hadith, based on the practice of Imam Rada alayhi salam. Did I say Imam Rada the first time? Yes, Imam Rada alayhi salam is the one with this interactive style, that if you finish and you recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad in your Salat, then it is mustahab to say Kadhalik Allahu Rabbi. Or for example, if there was a verse about hell or heaven, they would slow down and ponder about these things. They would take it serious. And this is something very important, that when we are reciting, there are many ways we can recite. Sometimes we recite faster because we want to complete a certain amount of recitation of Quran, which is very, very mustahab actually, very highly recommended in the month of Ramadan to recite as much of the Quran. So we decide we are going to do tartil, and we are going, somebody might say that, we want to recite 2 siparas. This is just an example. 2 siparas a day, maybe. So 2 Qurans. That could be, so he will be reciting faster. Another time, no. We've done that recitation, but half an hour in the day is a slower recitation with some pondering on the meaning and some interaction to try to see and internalize the Quran. Because the Quran is such a document that never goes out of fashion. You see, it is one of the beauties of the Quran that it will talk to you when you are a younger person. Same verse will talk to you when you're an older person. Same verse will talk to you to a person who is a student. Same verses will talk something else to a person who's a scholar. It is the miracle of the Quran, right? So the only thing that you don't come to it with your own idea and you want validation, bas. That I've already made up my mind, now the Quran should fit me. No. You come like a candle with no marking and you say, oh, the Quran will make my shape. So this is very, very important. Ghazali was asked about this. I think I've said a couple of times. that Ghazali was asked, how often do you recite the Quran? He said that there is a Quran I recite and I complete in 1 week. There is a Quran that I recite that I complete in 1 year. And there's another Quran that I haven't completed yet. I am still reciting. Showing this idea of different levels of recitation. And when you recite the Quran, then you get these kind of personal gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ayat that are for you, to give you that inspiration, to give you a bit of energy when you're feeling a little bit down. Okay, that is when you recite the Quran with some sort of attention. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that in this month that is coming, as I said in the beginning, let us be able to take something from this month more than we did in previous months of Ramadan, inshallah wa ta'ala. Let us end with one Surah Fatiha to remember our marhumeen. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.